Hi everyone, welcome. We're here to do a pick a card today, asking the question, which Brontë sister has a message for you? There are three options: Emily, Charlotte, and Anne. Now, if you're not familiar with who the Brontë sisters are, they are a trio. Well, I don't want to say a trio, but I mean, there's three of them. They're three sisters who lived in England in the 19th century, and they wrote, well, they were novelists, they were writers. Emily is most well known for her book, Wuthering Heights, okay? And unfortunately, Emily passed away about a year after she published. She did not see the full extent of how successful her novel was to be. In fact, she received much criticism for the novel because it contained some very dark material, all right? Wuthering Heights is a story of love and of hate and obsession and death. Okay, so I am going to put a quote from each of the sisters' most popular work. I'm going to quote Wuthering Heights by Emily. I'm going to quote Jane Eyre by Charlotte. And I'm going to quote The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne. I have read all three of these books. I did actually when I was 17 years old. During my breaks at school, when I was sent to a Christian group home, in part for being interested in esoterica. And here I am today. So, yes. All right. So yeah, I will be quoting each of those pieces of work along with the timestamps. You can find that in the description box. I think I'll also link you to a song inspired by the book Wuthering Heights. Kate Bush did a rendition of, well, yeah, it was a song inspired by that book. And I will link you to the music video. I love it personally. Yeah, I do. And so I'm gonna do that. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you think about, even any of the versions of the movies that have come out on their works or biographical sort of things. Very interested in that. And yeah, you may find that you resonate with more than one of the different groups, one of the different sisters. So keep that in mind, and I'll see you in your reading. Group 1, Emily. I have not broken your heart. You have broken it. And in breaking it, you have broken mine. That's a quote. Just one wee quote from Wuthering Heights. Let's look at your cards. The Advocate, the Gambler, Hecate, Willpower, the Sleeper, Eight of Swords, with assertion, Sun in Aries. The Bridge and the Shaman. This energy is very powerful. And by that, let's say that you are very powerful. Our dear Emily would like to draw attention to some things you may not know about yourself and what you must do. What you must do. Maybe you're in denial about this powerful aspect that you have. It's not so much an aspect as it is an integral layer of your soul. You have a particular mission that requires courage. It requires a pioneering spirit, and you do possess these. But maybe you doubt. Okay, so Emily is advocating for you to see something about yourself that I feel you already know on some level, but has been kept sort of out of sight, or has maybe not been given the amount of attention that it deserves. I feel like you are somebody with a strong connection to your dreamscape. And when you dream, you are not just dreaming. You're going to places, to other realms and dimensions, and retrieving parts of yourself and others. But I feel as though you might be asking yourself, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And it's so interesting. It's like you're being called. You're being called here, and we're reaching you, okay? We're reaching you and meeting you at the crossroads. Hecate is meeting you so that you can begin your training along a particular path. We literally have the shaman with this tribal figure and a bear. It's like maybe you have some sort of ancestral roots related to native tribes, particular traditions. Even if it's not at the biological level, like if it has not been passed to you in the physical, like you're like, I am not a member of any tribe. It's something in your soul memories, even from past lives here. I feel like somebody being called who does not, is like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But your dreams are a bridge to the other side. We have here the Sleeper as well, which talks about clairvoyant visions. And there is like some sort of risk it's like you have to take here. And I feel it also somebody who might be able to help you. Like you're gonna need some kind of a mentor, perhaps. I do see that. Along this particular tradition. But you are magical as fuck, okay? I just want to say that. So let's confirm that this is actually your message. I want to use this deck, actually. So who is the Querent? Who is the Querent? Send us some signs. 7 of Cups. Who's the Querent? The Ace of Wands with the Page of Cups. Yeah. You are at a crossroads. You're looking at different options. Wondering if something is perhaps just your imagination. That you're experiencing some sort of, I don't know, like premonitions in your dreams, I'm getting, or premonitions in general, or some sort of connection to mysticism that you didn't have before. And it's like the Page of Cups is somebody who might not be used to diving into these waters, but it's like you feel some sort of inspiration here from whatever it is that you're experiencing. Maybe you're like even new to tarot and you had sort of written it off as just stupid or, you know, coincidentally resonant when actually you're like, that's way too specific to be coincidental. That is speaking directly to me. Yes, it is. That's because you have here something very particular that not everyone else can do. You might have a lot of water and fire in your chart, but it's like, this is something new for you, I feel, and right now you may just be feeling confused about it, okay? And I can see as well here with the 8 of Swords that you're very much in your head and kind of like running the hamster wheel. And what is required here is this pioneering spirit of Aries, that Martian energy of getting up and going and like starting, taking the first small step on this path. Okay, what else is helpful for the Querent to hear about? You know, it's like you could work as, we said shaman, but like soul retrieval. I'm getting a heavy Capricorn, Scorpio energy here. I have the Queen of Wands, Aries energy. Specific actions, Spirit, specific actions that we can take. Maybe you're not somebody who's used to taking risks, or your risks are very calculated. You take time to make your decisions. Strength card, wow. So that you know like what you're getting into, what you can sustain. Look at this, we have the bear imagery now twice. That could be a spirit animal. Okay. 6 of Pentacles. Anything else that's helpful? You have a lot of strength to share. Something about your energy is just so solid. Even if you're not feeling that way right now, even if you're like in all of this doubt, you have just like, if you feel weird in your life, I feel like many of you do, you're like, why don't I resonate with these people anymore? Why do I just feel so disinterested in most people? It's not because you think you're like better than anybody. It's because you just, your soul is like in a different dimension half the time. Okay. The Hanged Man, Neptune. You could have a strong Neptune placement. But this is a gift that is meant to be shared. You have this unique perspective. Okay, you have these visions that You might be like a bit prophetic. You might have the gift of prophecy. Okay, so, wow, what a message. What a message. Yeah, Emily took us there. I watched that movie on Amazon Prime recently, Emily, which is about Emily Brontë. And I was like, this chick is definitely a Scorpio rising. Now, we know their birthdays, the sisters, but their birth times had to be rectified by professional astrologers. And yeah, they rectified it to make her a Scorpio rising. I was like, yeah, that checks out. I think she's a Leo sun. So that makes sense with this message. Because it's like you feel just the whole spectrum of feelings. You can go deep and you can go, you know, like the sea goat of Capricorn. It can go deep into the ocean and it climbs the highest peaks. Going deep into the underworld. I'm hearing death doula. Maybe you're going to be there, you know, maybe that's something that is of interest to you. Holding space for people as they're passing. Comforting them. Something like that. Okay. Where do we want to take this, Spirit? What is the next step? What is the next step for this group to take? Next step. I'm hearing the word archive. Okay. Could be talking about maybe the Akashic record. Knight of Wands. Well, that is action. Okay. Next step. The World. Whoa. This could have to do with travel. The Eight of Wands, yeah, travel. Maybe you're moving. Tell us more. So I could say that the opportunity to pursue this is really going to be made clear once you travel, if that is something that is sort of on the horizon for you. King of Swords. Yeah, you're gonna have like some sort of strong insight about whatever this is when you do some kind of a travel. I don't know, maybe you're already thinking about moving, or you're thinking about like traveling to, I don't know, Peru and have an ayahuasca experience, and maybe then you'll decide to take up some sort of mentorship. I mean, just for example, there's something here about that. It's like taking people into the dark and being able to bring them back out of it and process their experiences, something like that. Okay, I think that is the message. So practical next step is that movement in whatever way that means for you. Show us how this can manifest for stack group 1 in the next 6 months. What can manifest for group 1 in the next 6 months? pleasure, stand still. Savor your life, each and every part of it. Take pleasure in slowing down. Yeah, well, that's true with the card of stand still here. Experiencing each of your senses. Taste your food with full gusto. Inhale the sense of the world around you. Enjoy the colors and textures of your life. This is truly a stop and smell the roses card. Embrace your sensuality. Move in a languid way. Let pleasure be your password into every intimate part of your life. Allow your life to be less about being productive and more about enjoying each moment with verve, and a radiant energy will flow through you in all directions of your life. So this is a longer path that you're going to be on, and that's why there's not a ton more to say about it, because the path of a shaman is like intensive study, experiencing of the dark and the light within themselves and within, communities in the world. So it's important to be able to be present with oneself and to fully feel what you're feeling. You may spend a lot of time alone already so that you can kind of get really comfortable in just being in your own energy. Feeling what is your energy and what is not, right? It's kind of like a rite of passage. So along that, it says, if it feels that some areas of your life have slowed down or even come to a standstill, you are right. Something is not progressing. Even if it seems that things are flowing, look beneath the surface. Perhaps something is immovable. The first step to becoming unstuck is to acknowledge where you are. The soul loves the truth. Right? So it's like you're having to kind of slow down and embrace the now in order to look at your truths, look at the things that are, be able to examine the shadows within you as they come up so that you can deal with them. Because it's like some sort of pre-training regimen that you're on, that you're going through right now. You're like, things aren't moving, but it's like, actually they are exactly where they're supposed to be, because you're dealing with a lot. You're processing a lot of shadow and, integrating your shadow and alchemizing different challenges that arise. So in life, you can either say there are no weeds, or you can notice the weeds and begin pulling them out, like the shadow, like looking at it, seeing that it's there. Notice what isn't working in your life and then take slow, steady steps to unlock the barriers. In nature, when one is being sucked into mud, the worst thing to do is struggle, right? It's like not denying the shadow. The best thing to do is slowly and carefully, one step at a time, extricate yourself. So this is a slow process of movement, I feel. It's like, yes, you're going to be moving, but it feels like there's a lot of preparatory work to do in the meantime. So group 1 for Emily, that is Emily's message to you about your life path. All right, thank you for watching. Let me know how it resonated. I'll see you next time. Hi, group 2. If you chose Charlotte, then this is going to be your message. So we're going to start with a quote from Jane Eyre, Charlotte's most popular novel. She says, "I care for myself. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself." Okay, so, very much about being autonomous in one's energy, right? Not relying on sort of external validations for how one ought to be. Okay, so let's look at your cards. We have the Alchemist, the Explorer, the rescuer. We have Gaia. The card of insight. The card of success. The tailor. The Wheel of Fortune with versatility, Sun in Gemini. The Dead End. And the One. Okay, I'm gonna turn these cards over so that I can remember what is on the back of them. All right, so these rose cards, the floral cards, are a mix of Aries and Sagittarius energy. Gaia here is represented by Libra. We also have strong Jupiter, Sagittarius energy. Could be Pisces, sure, but Jupiter, and then Sun in Gemini. Any of that could be relevant to you. Does not have to be. But I feel as though, okay, how I'm feeling this energy is like a twisting, okay? It's like something that you are doing or working on. There is some kind of feeling here that you have been made to feel like it's not okay. Something that you are doing, it feels like somebody feels like it's not okay. Like it's not right. And maybe you have been trying to sort of please the crowd for a while, but it feels like maybe you've been people pleasing instead of following, you know, what you feel is right for you. There is sort of this point of diversion from what is expected of you. So Miss Charlotte is drawing attention to the fact that you are at a juncture point, leaving behind of situations and people, circumstances that are not working. There's something changing here for you, because it feels as though you have not been valued for what it is that you are providing by somebody and for some reason. Okay. You have worked really hard. I feel like you're a very detail-oriented person. And there is success to be had here, but it might not come about in the way that you had expected. Right? Like there seems to be a closed door when it comes to some area of your life. But there's another door I feel that is opening for you. It just requires you to maybe step outside of the box, to expand your sort of creative, method. Because something here is ending, some door is closing. And maybe you're the one doing the closing of that door. And this can be with a relationship, like we said, a place that you've lived, a job. You have reason to take pride in what you have accomplished, regardless of what anyone else is saying, okay? Your insight here says, see beyond appearances, masks, cliches, and cultural stereotypes to gain insight. Enjoying your life and the unfolding of your creative abilities as much as possible is real success. So success to you is not going to be what anybody else is sort of identifying it to be, right? It's like you define your own success. At the same time, you are moving in another direction. You are being called into service in some other way, I feel. Okay, so let's see. Let's see here. What is being left behind? What is being left behind? The Five of Swords with the Six of Cups. Okay, listen. You have some kind of soul connection here that has not served you or is no longer serving you. There is some kind of, it feels like fighting with your best friend, but on repeat. It feels like a very sort of karmic and painful relationship. Maybe this is with a sibling. It could be with a love interest, but somebody who feels like a soulmate here. Somebody with a closed heart chakra. This would be somebody who maybe when you start to succeed, they tear you down. Okay, this is like somebody who's not happy for your success. They want everything on their terms. You don't get a say. That's what is being left behind is I feel like this is a person, okay, I do. And who are you? Tell me about you. Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you've detached from this individual already because you recognize that they have caused you pain. It doesn't mean that it doesn't still hurt, but it's like you've gotten away from it a little bit. And Seven of Pentacles suggests here that you've been kind of like, it's like you walked away, but maybe you didn't walk all the way away. You know what I mean? It's like you might still be there in their vicinity, looking back and wondering, are they going to do anything differently? Maybe hoping that they'll catch up with you. Okay. So a part of you seems to still be hanging on to something here with this person. But maybe you're coming to the point finally of realizing that maybe this person just isn't for you. Maybe they will never be happy for your success. Maybe they will never see what you're doing as success, because it does feel like you want to define that on your own terms. And it does feel like you would rather be alone than be with somebody who's not truly seeing you. Okay. I feel like who you're dealing with could be somebody who does not have the same insight of being able to see beyond appearances, masks, cliches, and cultural stereotypes, right? This could be somebody who very much is like about their clout, about looking cool, okay, which really doesn't look very cool in the broader perspective, right? It really does not look very cool. It's like in a in a vast, expansive universe, I was cool. Put that on your gravestone, okay? Right? Like that's how I look at that. I feel like that's a message from Charlotte as well. Okay. Yeah, we are kind of trying to channel that energy through this. And so You might be working with words here. There seems to be an expansion of your communication. Like we said, you're very fine. Like there's a very detailed and intricate energy about you right here with the Taylor, Wheel of Fortune, and Sun in Gemini. So there might be something about your communication that is going to be expanded upon. All right. So let's look at that. Let's look at where you're going here with this endeavor. Where are we going with this? The Two of Cups. Yeah. All right. You have somebody else here. Could be a water sign. I have the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess on the back of the deck. Could be a joint project. Something that engages your heart. The Ten of Cups. Okay, exactly. This is something where you're not always having to worry about I'm hearing like being kicked in the face, okay? This is not something where it's like you're gonna be kicked in the face by this individual. That's because that's what this energy right here kind of feels like. Six of Cups and the Five of Swords is just getting kicked in the face by somebody you thought cared about you. This is not that. There's an expansion of communication with somebody that feels like a lifelong partnership, a heart connection, something that builds up on what you find valuable and not diminishes it, doesn't try to hold you back. Okay? It's like maybe you thought this other person was the one, but it's like you're discovering that that is a dead end. All right? You could feel like this new person is a rescuer in some sense, and not like you are a victim or need rescuing or you're a damsel in distress, but you could just feel like they see a part of you that this other person never did or couldn't appreciate fully or was like threatened by. Okay, so co-creation. Co-creation is what this feels like. Anything on a time frame for when group 2 of Charlotte. When, okay, I have Taurus season, the beehive. Okay. Could be Taurus season when you meet this person or something like that. Scorpio season. Okay, Scorpio, Taurus season are being highlighted here. This card says bedroom sexual fulfillment. So, I feel like you and this person will have a strong working relationship, but also strong sexual chemistry. All right. And then we have the card here of Virgo. It says coin toss. It says choices either or. And then within a few days, and then White Rabbit, which is Sagittarius. So this could be happening soon, like, or it could be developing rather soon, like within a few days, like maybe you will start corresponding with this person or something like that. Maybe the nature of your relationship doesn't start off as romantic. It starts off in one way, but then it develops further. Maybe it starts out as a working relationship and it turns romantic. But the white rabbit here says, spark of curiosity, spiritual awakening, it's time, heeding the call. So yeah, this feels like a pretty significant partnership. And it feels like it's going to be developing rather soon. Okay, maybe sooner than you would think. So group 2, that is what I have for you. Let me know how this resonated, and I will see you next time. Hello, group 3. If you chose Anne, then this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to start out by reading a quote from the Tenant of Wildfell Hall. It's a fine book, okay? So this particular one, I'm so torn here because there's several. So I may quote one, and then this might be different from the one that you see next to the timestamp. And so be it. So be it. Okay, let's read this one. If you would have your son to walk honorably through the world, you must not attempt to clear the stones from his path, but teach him to walk firmly over them. Not insist upon leading him by the hand, but let him learn to go alone. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the mother influence in this group is going to be significant. Okay, so let's get the cards out. And actually, should I turn on another light? I don't know. It's sorry. Okay, we have the rebel here. The rebel. The flirt. The mother. We have Venus. The card of the waning earth moon. Principles. Actualization. It says you will achieve your full potential by virtue of your creativity and your honest pursuit of truth. Okay. And there is a figure of a woman holding a baby and 2 swans to either side of her, which suggests to me that there is a product of love here. This child is a product of love and integrity. Okay. The creation. We have here the card of the guide. It says inheritance and correction. The Knight of Pentacles with the card of detachment, Venus in Aquarius. The Eternal Child. And the Village. So. I am picturing somebody. Now this can be you, or it can be literally your child. But take it however, okay? I'm seeing a child, somebody who is raised in a particular way. There's the sense here of this child being given much leeway, okay, to kind of like run freely in certain ways. Maybe not in all ways, but in some ways. This child has a great love of freedom. There is a strong Aquarius energy here, 2 times Aquarius. We have Gemini, Cancer, Taurus, and more Aquarius here with the Village, as Aquarius is associated with the community. The community, the mother, the environment in which somebody here, in which you were raised. I'm just going to address Yeah, I'm tiptoeing around this reading because I feel like, well, I don't want to come across as though I'm preaching to anybody or condescending about anybody's way of life. But I do feel like there are messages here about well, I feel as though your life is changing in some way, or Spirit is wanting to draw attention to that by way of Miss Anne Brontë, of course, can't forget. But I feel as though there is something in your background that could be from, you know, past generations of your family, but there's like something that has gone on here where it's like perhaps a tradition that is not working for you, a certain expectation, a way of living your life that it's like a path in which you may feel that you need to detach from your community and from what has gone before in order to achieve what it is that you feel you are meant to achieve. So I'm sensing that there's something in your background around this Venusian energy, right? Around acquiring what it is that you desire, whether that is for status or for belongings, possessions. Venus will do whatever she has to do in order to get what she wants in the darker side of Venus. Okay. And there might be something about that. Perhaps in your line, people have been willing to do whatever it takes to uphold certain things that you don't agree with anymore. So this card here with actualization, we're talking here about the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're talking about the pinnacle of who it is that you can be. Achieving that full potential of yours by virtue of your creativity and your honest pursuit of truth. Okay, so it's like having to walk some path here with your family, with pulling outside of the context of your family, I feel, in order to get down to some truth about who you are and who you can be. Yeah. It might feel as though you've kept things kind of on the surface in your life for a while. I get that here with the flirt energy. You know, like a social butterfly energy is what I'm getting here. Let's see here. What does your full potential look like? Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so we have that twice. What does your potential look like? Now, Knight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. 6th house matters of routine, of your work, can be work in the medical field as well, like taking care of others, service to others, even in the health professions. I have the Queen of Wands, Aries energy. Maybe you're going to be some kind of pioneer in your field. Okay. Or maybe this is another person. 7 of Cups. The Knight of Cups. The Moon. What are we feeling here? The Four of Wands on the back of the deck. Very interesting. I'm noticing how these two knights are moving through all of this. Listen, this reading, it feels uncomfortable for me to do because I feel like that's kind of how it feels for you going through the situation, is like, I don't know. Because it feels like you really have to step outside of some kind of paradigm that you've been in. This is really, it very much stretches how you see yourself. Gosh, these planes are so loud. I'm sorry, guys. I live near a float plane base. Anyway. I feel like this is really stretching your self-concept. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. We're gonna just work our way through this reading as best we can. What are you rebelling against? What is needing to be rebelled against? The King of Swords. This could be a person. This could be like that part of you that is very logical, because we were just saying the discomfort with the emotional space. Could be, it could be feeling more difficult for you. So rebelling against the mind, or a King of Swords in your life. Rebelling. I just saw the Ten of Pentacles. So like there's something I feel about your family, about your roots, that does not agree with who you feel like you are becoming, who you feel compelled to express yourself as. It's not that you are becoming that, it's that you are remembering who you are, and it's not falling in line. It's like, I feel like you're low-key, it's like you're the low-key black sheep of your family in some way, but maybe I feel like you've kept so much on the surface that you have not really had to deal with like all of the backlash that truly embracing the black sheep would entail. And it can entail a lot. I know, because I'm the black sheep of my family in some manner of speaking. And so, Let's see here. What's supporting you? What is supporting you as you detach from old structures and ideologies which are no longer serving you? What is supporting you? Three of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. There's, again, with the heart chakra, the heart space, the emotions, the watery parts of you. Listening to your heart, working with the emotion. It could be collaboration with like a new love, all right? But like we said, this is something that is stretching you. Working with your emotions is the supportive aspect. Let's get confirmation if we can, please, Spirit. Confirmation. What is supporting this group? Clarify the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Caution. Strength. Cleanse. Spirit does not want you to rush this process. Okay, there's no hurry. There's no hurry through this. A lot of this will be done slowly, but your energy is changing. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. You don't need to let everybody in on this change that you're going through, okay? We're not trying to seek you to get ostracized from anybody. All right, like there's a lot that you can do and move through in this process. It's like by way of what's happening inside of you, things on the external are going to start shifting, all right? As within, so without. It's like things are going to start shifting in a way that makes your world reflect more of the changes that are going on within you, so that by the time you need to make any overt sort of proclamations about who you are now, right? It's like the world around you will have changed enough to make you, like, you'll be strong enough to withstand any kind of storm that comes as a result of that, okay? That's what this is saying to me. Like, don't rush through this process of gradually opening yourself up to more of those watery yin energy. There's no rush. There's no need for anything like that. But since we're saying rush, like no rush, I feel like there's something about that. Like, why do you feel like you need to rush? Why do you feel like you need to rush? King of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, okay, you're like, but I want to be strong now. I want to be the King of Pentacles now. Okay, why do you feel like you need to rush? The Knight of Swords. What is it, like you're late for the fight? What is this? There's something that it feels like you want to compete for here, or against somebody. You want to say something. You want to be strong for some sort of confrontation here. I don't know if it's with an earth sign or this is a representation of how you are wanting to see yourself, is like being very materially supported. Being able to be materially strong enough to win some kind of competition. That, well, this is part of your ego in some ways. What are you wanting to compete for here? What are you wanting to compete for? What is this about? Is this about your status? Is this about like just feeling like you won? What is this about? Ace of Swords. King of Cups. the Star. I feel like you want to be seen as, it's like you want the truth about it's like you want the truth about who you are to be known. I feel it, I do feel like there is like, you know, this is an ego connection here a little bit, but it's like you want to be seen as loving and like compassionate and strong, and you do want to be seen in a certain way here. Okay, I feel like you want to be strong as well enough to feel like you can have kind of an open heart. Right? Okay. Okay. So I feel like you're at the point in your journey where you're having some kind of awakening. Right? And awakening never ends in my experience. There are always new levels to ascend. It's like you're at this particular level where you've realized something about yourself, something about the way that you have lived, the way that you have experienced life, and it's opened up this new worldview for you. And so now that you see that that is available to you, you want to get there as fast as you can. You want to be healed. You want to heal your heart. You want others to see that you've healed. Right? So, things will happen. I mean, do I have anything to say about that? I don't think that the ego is bad. I think that it must be, it's important, okay? And without the ego, not a whole lot would get done in the world. I feel like a lot of this is about your excitement towards your ascension. And it's going to happen for you. Right now, it's like I would say that this message is about keeping the faith that you can become who it is that you feel that you already are. And that's true, you can. You're just remembering how. You're having like a soul remembering. And this is correcting something rather large in your lineage. Okay? So, what is a challenge for you through this? What will be like kind of the challenge through this process? Two of Swords, Knight of Swords. There is a choice here. You might have a lot of Gemini. We've already said that. But it's like the Gemini and Libra in your chart are like, what choice do we do? Do we do this thing or do this thing? It's like the twins. You know, the Gemini twins, they're like pushing the scale down on one side, the other one pushes it down on the other side. You're like, but this isn't. Okay, so it's like you're having a hard time choosing what thing to pursue or what to say, it feels like, okay? Hopefully you get that reference about the twins and the scales. Okay, Libra, scales of justice, right? The Temperance card, Sagittarius. And the Ten of Wands. Okay. You seem to have a hard time with decisions. All right, that's okay. Allow yourself to, right? Don't fight it. Take your time. And I see that you are maybe rather impatient. Yeah, we've seen that. You're wanting to get the healing done. You're wanting to be better. You're carrying a lot here with the Ten of Wands. This feels like decision fatigue. You know how when you are like working really hard and you're like, God, not one more decision for me to make. That's what this feels like. Having to make decisions when you're already kind of maxed out. Okay. What do you want to tell us about that? Actually, let's use this again. What do you want to tell us about this? About the decisions and decision fatigue and impatience? Rest. Rest. Yeah. Daddy chill. Okay, maybe you know, when I say meditate, that's coming from somebody who had a lot of resistance to meditating for a long time. But actually, as time has gone by, I actually like to meditate. I have an app called Relax Melodies, and they have binaural beats on there. It's just kind of like a constant frequency, and it's quite soothing. You got to learn how to rest the mind in some way, which is, I know it's easier said than done. I feel a lot of restlessness here in your energy, and I certainly can empathize with that, feeling that, having gone through that a lot myself. So when I tell you rest, trust me, I understand the implications of that. I understand being a nervous, anxious wreck. And, you know, one of the best things that you can do is when you're feeling that way is just be like, I'm allowed to be an anxious, nervous wreck, and just say it out loud. I'm allowed to, because adding shame on your feelings is like the worst thing, right? Like, you don't need to be ashamed about your anxiousness or your shame. Just be like, I'm an anxious, nervous wreck. Yeah. And just like, you know, that frees you. You might find that frees you in some way. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope that this was helpful in some way. I feel like this was like the most difficult out of the three for me to read for, but there's a reason for everything. So take care, and I bid you adieu.